The next thing I'd like to discuss is the IHSS, which is the in-home supportive services. I'm sure some of you have clients who come in with a W-2 and it might not show something in box 1, and it comes from the IHSS, in-home supportive services. So do you have to pay taxes on this? So if you live with your client, your IHSS income is exempt from taxes. If you do not live with your client, it is not exempt and you will pay taxes. Okay, this is because of a special IRS regulation called the difficulty of care income tax exclusion. Okay, so how to report the IHSS payments on your tax return? This depends on several factors. If you did not receive a W-2 or other tax form, you do not need to report the payments on the return. Okay, these payments are specifically exempt from income tax. If you received a W-2 or other tax form like a 1099, you should enter the information in the software and then show an offset for this entry so that you will not be taxed on this income. So most people will put it on income for line 7, and then as other income, they will show basically the description IRS notice 2014-7, which is excludable income. Okay. Any questions on this IHSS?
Glenn, I have a question. This is Cindy.
Okay.
I have a client, and I did 3 amended returns for them back in 2020. And I did report online. They received their W-2 forms, and I reported on line 8 the other income. And I made the deduction of their income for the IHSS.
Okay.
So I think it should have been correct, but so far the IRS, I don't know if they're just taking too long to process, but now they are charging my client all that money back that they've refunded. So they're starting to send out letters that they owe money, and that if they don't pay it, they're gonna go after like their property or something like that, and like maybe levy their wages.
Yeah, have you tried to call the IRS?
Yes, we've tried, and they didn't have any information. She just told me to go ahead and send copies of the amended returns again, which we already did, but she still received another letter saying that she needs to pay that money back. And I'm not sure if they're just behind. I told her to call them again. So she's going to try calling them back and see what they tell her this time.
Yeah, see if she can call again. I know they're backed up. They're still backed up. That's why we had that previous thing about them being behind. Although I understand that they hired about 1,200 new people for the IRS this year, but that's nothing. So yeah, keep on calling. It could be that they haven't even touched that, the amendments. So but try calling though.
If you call, Cindy, the practitioner hotline, or are you calling the general number?
I just called the general number and with her on the line, but I wasn't sure how to do the practitioner line. Will they speak to me about it?
Do you have your AFSP credential in place, right, for the IRS, the AFSP? You have that?
I'm not sure.
You do our CTEC course, right? The 20-hour course? Okay. Yes. So yeah, I would recommend calling the practitioner hotline, and then because they know a little bit more about these type of little trickier situations, and ask them, maybe even have the client there with you, Cindy, but ask them directly, the client's getting these letters, extremely concerned about this. We feel like the tax return was done correctly. I need you to tell me exactly what is, if there was something done wrong, I need you to tell me what it is. And I need you to, tell us what's going on. And if they say, Cindy, that they're backed up, what they need to do then is they need to stop sending letters, because if they're backed up, they can't, they're not supposed to be sending panicky letters.
Okay. Can I get that number to the practitioner hotline?
Yeah, let me pull that for you, Cindy. And as Glenn goes through it, let me pull that for you, and I'll drop it in the chat. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
you. Andy.
I have a question, Glenn. I have a question regarding the IHSS. It says there on the form, you can get earned.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a few. yeah, I'm going to,
reserve earned income?
yes, you can. I'm going to talk about that in another minute or so, okay? It's on my next slide, by the way.
Alright.
Okay,
Glenn,
so,
Glenn, I have a question.
okay.
Okay.
So does the IHSS affect the earned income credit?
It
If
could.
they're like,
You're allowed to use the IHS income for earned income credit. I'm going to talk about that in the next slide.
yeah, okay. I'll let you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So these are some links that you can look at. I did put the top link, public partnerships link, in your Dream Team account. Okay, that tells you everything you want to know about the Dream Team, about IHSS. And this here, the other link is the California site, and that's the link you can look at for those folks that are in California. This is a national thing. It's not California only. Okay. So again, IHSS wages received by providers who live in the same home with the recipient of those services are excluded from gross income for purposes of federal and state income tax. A live-in provider must fill out an SOC 2298, which is the live-in self-certification form for federal and state tax wage exclusion, in order to receive this benefit. If the providers prefer to pay taxes out of their check, they do not have to file this self-certification form. Okay, and as you can see, Andy added the IRS practitioner hotline, 866-860-4259. Okay. And this is the form, by the way. This is the form SOC 2298. I just wanted to show what it looks like. Very simple form. Okay. Now, I wanted to mention that you can use the income against your earned income credit, okay? So if anybody's involved with that, if you can give me a personal call, and I will help you with that. But you can use your that IHSS income if you need it to help you with your earned income credit. Okay.
For people, Glenn, that are familiar maybe with the combat pay situation from past years, where the combat pay would not be taxable, but you could still use it for earned income credit, and that this is very similar to that.
Right.
I'd be curious because we saw too, Glenn, this year that California is now honoring that same thing for the California earned income credit. They're now conforming to the IRS treatment. So it'd be interesting as you go through this, like, are people seeing real examples of this? Because it's actually a lot of people have been receiving this kind of income. Wouldn't you agree, Glenn?
Oh yeah, especially now ongoing with all the fighting going on overseas, and there are a lot of folks that are getting combat pay, and so yeah. And when we talk about the military income that are taxable, non-taxable, we'll be talking more about that as well.
And I'm talking about IHSS income, right, Glenn? There's just like a lot more people on it, it seems like, right?
Especially the last couple of years, yes, we've seen a lot more people getting IHSS and just doing what is shown on the W-2, which is incorrect. So what they're doing is they're adding the income and not taking the deduction.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely a software usage issue where you want to look in your software and see exactly how you can use it for the earned income credit, but not pay tax on it. You want to kind of, if you have clients that are in the situation, you want to dig into your software and definitely know how to do that. Right. Thanks, Glenn. This is a great topic too. Thank you.